We're very excited for this upcoming year. We have a great group returning, a big number coming in, and this is the time that you live for when you coach. The schedule, when you look at the challenges that we have there, we have one of the toughest in the country, once again, with a West Coast flavor, with UCLA coming here, and Cal, two very difficult teams, and then Cal Poly in our Notre Dame tournament, and then Drake. Those are our first four, so we'll really see where this group is, and it's a great test to see again where we need to be come the later part of the season. And then we're going to get into an East Coast swing. It's UMass and Brown, who are perennial powers out there, and again will give us some difficult conditions and environments to play in. That leads us into our conference schedule with our some of our in-state and regional rivalries in there, with an Evansville and Notre Dame, Butler, very difficult opponents, and then a Creighton, which we think will be a really fun test for our players to play in that environment. It's going to be their homecoming match. It's going to be a beautiful crowd, and that will be a tough match as well. So we look at the schedule. It's going to test us out of the gates, and that's what we need with this group, because we're going to have a lot of new faces we expect out there in the field, so this will be what we need to kick off the year. When we look at the attack, certainly that's something we need to address from the standpoint of overall production. We had, looking back at last season, we had 28 goals that were scored, which from historical perspectives is not the production that we need, and it was somewhat one-sided with Will Bruin being the overall driver with production. Losing 3 players from last year, key players that were in the top 5 in production and points, with Lee Hagedorn and Darren Yeagley and Eric Alexander, we know that we need some new faces to come in and help us, and certainly pair up with Will Bruin up top. So I think for our fans, you can expect to see some exciting new faces, some of these new players. We have a transfer also that's come in with Chris Estridge. I expect a Nikita Kotloff to help give us some offensive punch, very dynamic player. And Blake Wise from Texas is another one that I think will fight for to help us get some production up top. So an array of options. However, a big focus this preseason will be finding the right combinations and putting a lot of detail into getting our production and attacking third as efficient as possible. When we look at the midfield, it's the heart of your team. We fortunately have one of the finest all-around players that we feel in the country with Rich Bulchin. We can play him in a variety of spots and be a dominant player. Rich is going to be a key if we, in fact, use him in midfield as we expect to. Rich, along with returning Andy Adlard, who can play a variety of roles in midfield, are 2 of our returning starters from last season. Certainly Tyler McCarroll had a nice spring to give us some diversity and different type of play out wide with his speed, and again finished very strong in the end. Joe Tolan found minutes in midfield, some returning players. Jacob Bouchou, who spent the spring with us, found some significant minutes, and we've also tried Alec Purdy in midfield as well. To name a few, those are some of the returning names that are going to be important in this midfield. However, again, some new faces are going to get some opportunity along with our returners to make an impact in this very important spot. So time will tell on some of those other positions. However, we do feel that the midfield is going to be a strength of this team, and it needs to be for us to have the success that we're looking to have. Looking at our backline, this area is crucial, and one that we return only 2 starters, with Tommy Meyer, who's a rising junior. This could be the breakout season for Tommy. Has all the tools to be a prime player as he's grown to show here. However, this is a year that's very important for him to be the anchor in the center back. Daniel Kelly, a 5th-year senior, a converted forward midfielder. DK has played all over the field for us, but we do feel we found a home for him as an outside back, but one that we can put in other spots in the field and have success. Those two, along with some returning players, will be the anchor of our group, and certainly Chris Hafner showed well in the spring, given some opportunities. We know that Cam Jordan could play in the back. We might experiment with some other freshmen, Jacob Bouchou, who could play in midfield as well. Potentially might see some time in the back. So along with our returners, we do have some newcomers, certainly with Ambry Moss from down in the Bahamas, who we feel has the potential to make an impact in the back. That is going to be another key component to get the chemistry and understanding as quickly as possible as we enter into 3 very difficult exhibition matches leading into the season. Looking at our goalkeeping situation, Louis Softner is our returning starter who had a up and down freshman campaign, and one that once there was consistency in his game, we felt did a very nice job. However, finding that consistency, finding the confidence within his game, and understanding with our back line is going to be, again, a key to our focus here in the preseason. Along with Louis is a returning Nate Mitchell, who made fantastic strides from a year ago, and he again will be in a position to push our goalkeeping core. 2 newcomers, Ryan Bristol, who has tremendous athletic presence at nearly 6'6", has some very good capabilities, certainly as a freshman. We'll see how he performs, but we have high expectations, along with Taylor Reeves from Omaha, who again has a lot of the qualities we look for in a goalkeeper. So those 4 are going to be, I feel, pushing each other to allow us to have a solid and steady position taken care of as we enter the field this fall.